Okay, accelerated math, solve multi-step equations. Okay, multi meaning more than one, so more than one step to these. And they're generally not too hard. We're going to see some decimals and some fractions and just get a little experience with that. Okay, the bottom line in solving equations is that you're trying to isolate the variable. You'll hear that terminology. Isolate the variable just simply means get the variable by itself. Get all the other stuff off of that side. Alright, and this one says 6x plus 1. And we want to work backwards in our order of operations. If you remember this whole PEMDAS thing, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's commonly used. We want to do what's in parentheses first, then our exponents, multiplication, then division. And actually that's not true. Multiplication and division, same priority on those. It's just a matter of which one comes first, going left to right. Addition and subtraction is the next priority level. So when you're normally simplifying an expression, you're working from parentheses down to addition and subtraction. But in solving an equation, you're working backwards to find out what the variable is. So you actually go in the reverse order on this PEMDAS thing. So we're going to look at this one. You see it's got 6x plus 1 equals 31. We are trying to isolate this x value. And what did they do to x? They multiplied it by 6 and they added 1. We're going to go in reverse order here, and instead of doing multiplication before addition, we're going to deal with addition and then the multiplication. We have to undo what they did to it. If they added 1, we're going to subtract 1, and we're going to do it to both sides. So we get 6x equals 30. They multiplied it by 6. We're going to divide it by 6. That undoes it, and we're going to divide both sides by 6. Alright, the 6 divided by 6, of course, is 1. We get x equals, well, 30 divided by 6 is 5. Okay, you can plug that 5 back in to check and see if you really got the right answer. So 6 times 5 plus 1 should be equal to 31. In fact, 30 plus 1, there goes that order of operations, working in the correct order, and you get 31 equals 31, and it's a true statement. So, and by the way, 5 is the only number that you can plug in that equation that will make it true. There's no other number that you can plug it in. Alright, look at this one. Okay, decimals. Don't get too worked up about these decimals. It's the exact same process. It's just that you got to know how to deal with decimals, which can be annoying. Alright, so let's take a look at it. We're going to subtract 0.29. Subtract 0.29. Got to line up those decimals. I'm going to throw a 0 on there and start working that. And, alright, so let's see. 1 minus 0 is 1. 4, I need to turn that into 14, and different people learn this different ways, but I got a 5 over here, and 0.8. Okay, so 0.851. So I got 0.37. X equals 0.851. Now I'm going to divide by 0.37, divide by 0.37, and you know what? I'm going to grab my calculator at this point and clear that. 0.851 divided by 0.37. Enter 2.3. They gave me some ranges to work with, and 2.3 is obviously between 2 and 3. Alright, so there's my solution. And alright, let's go on to the next one. So decimals a little bit annoying. Alright, now we've got a fraction to deal with, and yes, we need to know how to deal with fractions throughout high school and into college math. So might as well get used to it. So let's start with this minus 2. We're going to do plus 2 to both sides. So that's the easy part. We got 3/5 y equals 6. Now some of you are starting to breathe heavy and going, oh no, what to do with this fraction? Okay, now if this would have been just 5y equals 10 or something like that, you would have simply said, oh, I'm going to divide by 5 and do it to both sides, and that would cancel it out. Well, same deal here. It's 3/5. It just looks a little strange, but we're going to divide by 3/5. Alright, that cancels out or makes it 1, reduces to 1, so it's just y. But what to do with this other side? Well, back in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, you learned that when you divide by a fraction, it's the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. Now, you may not have heard it like that, but reciprocal means to flip something over. To reciprocate, you know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. You do something nice for me, I'll do something nice for you. Reciprocal is flipping something over in terms of a fraction, and let's see how that works. So dividing by a fraction, and that is the same thing as 6/1 divided by 3/5 is the same thing as multiplying, so I'm going to change it to multiplication, multiplying by its reciprocal. Alright, you may have heard the phrase keep, change, flip. Okay, keep the first fraction, change the division. Here was our division, fractions are just dividing. Change the division to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Alright, and then it's pretty easy. This is some easy stuff that you learned a long time ago. 6 times 5 is 30, over 1 times 3 is 3, and of course that reduces to, well, 30. 3 goes in that once, 3 goes in this 10 times, so it reduces to 10 over 1, or just 10. Alright, it is well worth your time to get comfortable with dealing with fractions, because you're going to see them over and over and over. Alright, well, look at there. See, I wasn't lying to you. There are the fractions over and over and over. Alright, so this time we got 1/3 x minus 7/12 equals negative 11/12. Well, the good news is we've got a common denominator, at least in this beginning part, where we have to plus 7/12 to both sides. Alright, and we're left with 1/3 x equals, well, negative 11 plus 7. Remember that you keep the denominator, so we know it's going to be over 12. And here we've got that two signs that are different when we're adding. You keep the sign of the larger, so 11 is the larger of the two, and you subtract. So it's 11 minus 7 gives you 4, so it's negative 4/12. Alright, and that can be reduced, but let's go ahead and do this. Get rid of this 1/3. Again, this is 1/3 times x, so we're going to divide by 1/3. And some of you may have said, oh yeah, I'm going to, dividing by a fraction is the same as it's that keep, change, flip, or it's that multiplying by its reciprocal. So some people may have represented this, said 1/3 x equals negative 4/12. They may have said, you know what, I'm just going to multiply both sides by its reciprocal. Alright, and if that caught you off guard, just watch and see. Let's go back up to this one. We're going to divide by 1/3. That's going to cancel that out. So I got x equals negative 4/12 divided by 1/3, but we said dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying, keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction, change it to multiplication, and flip the second fraction, and now we can easily multiply across. So negative 12 over 12, and of course a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 12 divided by 12 is 1, so it's negative 1. So there's our answer. Look back at this other one, where someone said, no, I'm just going to right off the bat show it like this. Well, 3 times 1 is 3, 1 times 3 is 3, so that is 3 over 3, or 1, which just leaves x. So by multiplying by its reciprocal, it cancels it out, or makes it reduce to 1. On the other side, we get the same thing as we had with our initial one, and still comes out to negative 1. Alrighty. Have fun with those fractions. Don't think that this is something that you're not going to see again. You need to get comfortable with dealing with fractions, and this is a good way to do it.